The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. The new proposed hospital will have a 50-50 labor split. The health minister says he and the government hopes to improve that ratio if they want to, as the government is working to strengthen the healthcare system. And a bit around the House over the BPL fuel hedge issue. That's all straight ahead, but first, this is Dwight, Strachan, and you're listening to Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Thursday, February 5th, 2026. This is Morning Blend 6.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Laverne Gardner will be joining us. Also this morning, we are talking with JA Bahamas about their upcoming conference and a whole lot more. That's all ahead. But first, it's time for The Overnight, the latest breaking news from while you're sleeping and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Michael Darville, confirming that as part of its loan agreement with China's construction of a new hospital in Western New Providence, there is a stipulation that for a 50-50 Bahamian to foreign construction worker ratio. However, he says the government is still seeking to improve that ratio for Bahamian workers as they're having ongoing conversations and discussions with the Chinese for a better employment ratio. Darville speaking in the House of Assembly, where he tabled several documents pertaining to the plans for the hospital's construction, saying that during the construction, a recruitment and assessment team will operate on site in collaboration with the Department of Labor and Immigration. He says this process will allow for close monitoring for compliance, and skilled Bahamian workers will be registered, assessed, and qualified, and those will be directly referred to the contractor for employment. Darville says there will be on-site training programs to ensure the transfer of knowledge to Bahamians. He said concrete batching will happen both on and off-site so that local companies are able to take on some of that work. He also addressed long-standing concerns over flooding in the area where the hospital is slated to be constructed, saying that a report after careful assessment that the drainage and flood mitigation report by local engineers verified that the hospital will not worsen flooding in the surrounding area. Well, as healthcare workers sound the alarm on the conditions within the public health system, Dr. Darville acknowledged the mounting concerns as he assured that the government has been working steadily at the issue. He said the issue of shortage of bed space, overcrowding at the Accident and Emergency Center at the Princess Margaret Hospital and the Rand Memorial Hospital, coupled with new emerging threats to public health and manpower shortages, continue to affect the ability to respond in the way they should at the major hospitals. He said, quote, "We hear the legitimate cries of our people and will continue to respond by improving service. We've executed our evidence-based plan by upgrading clinics and critical spaces at the Rand Memorial Hospital and the Princess Margaret Hospital." He also said that after years of renovations, the PMH Accident and Emergency is finally complete and work will start on the kitchen and the legacy ward soon. A heated exchange in the House of Assembly erupted between Prime Minister Philip Davis and Opposition Leader Michael Pintard over the Minutes administration's fuel hedge program. Davis saying the F&M's program was not done correctly, but Pintard accusing the Prime Minister of breaking the law. At one point during the debate, deputies silenced the outbursts from government and opposition MPs. It's just another salvo in the argument over the fuel hedge program, which the opposition has said was cancelled by the Davis administration when it came to office in 2021. Davis raised the issue of the hedge program as he opened debate on 3 resolutions that seek Parliament's approval to authorize the government to guarantee 3 loans totaling nearly $160 million. The loans would transform the energy sector in the Bahamas. From the courts, a man has been sentenced to more than 2 decades in prison for stabbing his victim in the back and leaving him with debilitating injuries. 35-year-old Matthew Capron was convicted of attempted murder following a trial before Justice Joanne Ferguson. He was sentenced to 25 years in prison and will receive credit for the 6 months spent on remand. On September 3rd, 2023, police responded to a stabbing at Sunwood Drive in New Providence and met Andy suffering from multiple wounds to his upper back. According to Barnett, the attack was unprovoked and he's still experiencing pain, which is in passing sentence. Ferguson said that the behavior of the convict was cold-blooded attempted murder, and the victim was stabbed 5 times in the back. Ferguson noted that a custodial sentence was required to send a strong message to the community at large that if we are to advance as a modern society, that this type of behavior was reprehensible. And a man accused of a deadly 2021 shooting allegedly bragged about the incident. The Supreme Court jury heard yesterday. The witness, whose name has been withheld, alleged that he saw Zavargo Gator leave Balls Alley in a white van while armed with a Draco pistol at around 8:30 p.m. on June 4th. According to the witness, when Gator returned to the area in the same van, he was hyped and giddy and allegedly boasted about shooting up the victims on Milton Street. He alleged that Gator was singing, quote, "No blood on my shirt," because he got hit at close range. Throughout his testimony, he avoided eye contact with the accused, who stared intently at him from the prisoner's dock. You can read more on that story in today's Nassau Guardian. And from the Turks and Caicos Islands, the Turks and Caicos Islands Sun reporting that former Premier Michael Missick, his brother, attorney-at-law Chalmers Missick, and former government minister McAllister Piper Hanchel will be sentenced on May 4th, 2026. In the meantime, they must surrender passports, can't leave the country, and their bail amounts have been increased. The former premier's bail was increased from $10 million to $15 million, and Hanchel's was moved from $3.4 million to $4 million. And Child Missick's bail is now $6 million. Prosecutor is telling the court the Crown will be seeking to confiscate $20 million from the former Premier Mike Missick. Defense lawyers argued that to incarcerate them now pending sentencing would be wrong, so they should be granted bail with certain conditions. They were found guilty in court on Wednesday. British Prime Minister Keir victims of Jeffrey Epstein for appointing Peter Mandelson as the UK's ambassador to Washington, despite his ties to the disgraced financier. The Prime Minister said Mandelson had portrayed Epstein as someone he barely knew. In a speech on Thursday, he said, quote, "I am sorry for having believed Mandelson's lies and appointed him." Starmer fired Mandelson in September after emails were published showing that he maintained a friendship with Epstein following the late financier's 2008 conviction for sex offenses involving a minor. But the Prime Minister now faces fresh pressure over the appointment after newly released documents revealed new details of Mandelson's close relationship with Epstein. And in sports, the Bahamas Basketball Federation has released its preliminary roster for the second window of the FIBA Americas qualifiers, naming a pool of players set to represent the country beginning on February 26th. It's Jamaica. You can read that list in today's Guardian Sports section. From the NBA, it didn't take long for Valdez V.J. Edgecombe to get going in his second matchup with Giovanni Buddy Hield and the Golden State Warriors this season. The two Bahamians met on the hardwood the NBA Tuesday, with the Philadelphia 76ers making their annual trip to the West Coast. Edgecombe and the Sixers won 113-94 against Hield and the Warriors late Tuesday night. The Sixers will face Bahamian DeAndre Ayton and the LA Lakers tonight in Los Angeles. More from the NBA. The Washington Wizards are acquiring Anthony Davis in an 8-player trade with the Mavericks that includes draft picks for Dallas. That's according to a person with knowledge of the deal speaking Wednesday. The move is a signal to trade that sent superstar Luka Doncic to the LA Lakers for a package headlined by Davis last year. Former general manager Nico Harrison, who was fired by Dallas in November, engineered the middle-of-the-night deal that angered fans. Trade speculation had surrounded Davis ever since Harrison was let go, following a slow start to the season. The Wizards are sending Chris Middleton, A.J. Johnson, Malachi Branham, and Marvin Bagley III to the Mavericks, along with 2 first-round draft picks and 3 second-rounders. That's according to that person who spoke to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity because the deal had yet to be approved by the NBA. Washington will be getting 3 guards from Dallas in Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, and Dante Exum. The Wizards have made a stark shift recently from their rebuild after losing 67 and 64 games in the past 2 seasons. Washington traded for Trae Young last month and now adds Davis to a group of young players, including big man Alex Sarr, the number 2 pick in 2024. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. First look at weather brought to you by Star General. A gale warning And wind advisory now in effect for the northern and northwest Bahamas. A gale watch is in effect for the central Bahamas, and small craft operators in these areas are urged to seek safe harbor and remain in port. A severe weather watch will come into effect for portions of the central Bahamas, mainly Long Island, San Salvador, and Rum Cay, and the entire southeast Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands beginning at noon today until midnight. We've got a lot going on, again, weather-wise. So a moist, unstable air mass originating from the southwestern Caribbean Sea, combined with an inbound shortwave trough barreling from the Gulf of Mexico, will spark scattered showers and a few rumbles of thunder across the southern half of the country this afternoon. Some of these storms may turn severe into the evening and nighttime hours. Meanwhile, a developing low-pressure system looming offshore of the U.S. eastern coast will sweep a fast-moving cold front, another one, across the country, bringing strong, gusty winds beginning tonight into tomorrow. So for today, again, a lot happening. We've got high surf beginning this afternoon and a high risk of dangerous, life-threatening rip currents, along with, that's going to be along all northern, western, and Atlantic exposed shorelines. Beachgoers and swimmers should stay out of the water. And there is a minor to moderate threat of beach erosion and coastal flooding for all northern and western shorelines, especially in areas that have already been severely impacted from last weekend. Motorists and pedestrians are urged to exercise caution while along coastal roads. It could be overtopping waves, sea spray, and coastal debris, especially during high tide. So for today, the northern half of the country looking at partly sunny conditions at first, but becoming partly cloudy to cloudy by this afternoon. Conditions may become occasionally overcast heading into the evening hours, with skies eventually clearing by tonight for the extreme northern islands. But still a factor for the rest of the northwest Bahamas. We've got about a 20 to 30% chance of showers with a slight chance of short-lived thunderstorms, but less than a 10% chance of showers by tonight. That's the northern half of the country. A different story for the southern half of the country, the central and southeast Bahamas. Cloudy to occasionally overcast today. Showers and thunderstorms across Long Island, San Salvador, and Rum Cay, with a 30 to 50% chance of showers across the rest of the central Bahamas today. Expect shower chances to decrease to 10 to 20% by nightfall. For the southeastern islands, 20 to 40% chance of showers with possible thunderstorms, increasing to 40 to 70% by this evening. With winds, we're looking at for the extreme northern islands, wind south to southwest and southwest to west southwest at 10 to 15 knots this morning, increasing to 15 to 20 knots by this afternoon. Expect winds to quickly veer to the northwest at 25 to 30 knots with gust to gale force after the frontal passage by this afternoon. For the rest of the northwest Bahamas, wind southwest to west at 10 knots or less, falling light and variable at times this morning, increasing to 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts this afternoon. Expect winds to quickly veer to the northwest at 25 to 30 knots with gust to gale force after the front passes by this evening. And for the central and southeastern islands, winds southerly at 10 knots or less this morning, veering south to southwest at 10 to 15 knots by this afternoon. Expect winds to quickly veer west to northwest at 15 to 20 knots by this evening, increasing to 20 to 30 knots with gust to gale force after tonight. And east-southeast to south-southeast at 10 to 50 knots, falling light and variable at times today, with winds southwest to west at 10 to 15 knots ahead of the front, increasing 20 to 25 knots with gusts to near gale force behind the front late tonight for the southeastern islands. Temperatures today, we are definitely warmer than we were yesterday. For now, we're looking at highs in the upper 70s for most areas, around 26 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight for the extreme northern islands in the low 60s, around 16, 17 Celsius. And the mid to upper 60s for the northwest and central Bahamas and the southeastern islands. So around 18, 19, 20 Celsius. So again, a lot happening weather-wise. We'll tell you about what to expect in the next few days coming up in a bit. This weather check brought to you by Star General Insurance Made Simple.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
It is time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96 for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Looking for the perfect Saturday vibe? The Tourism Development Corporation invites you to Bites on Bay Food Truck Pop-Up, a celebration of food, culture, and community. Happening Saturday, February 7th, 2026, from 12 noon to 8 p.m. at the corner of Bay Street and Elizabeth Avenue. Enjoy free entry, delicious food trucks, live entertainment, a high-energy Junkanoo rush out, and free caricatures for the whole family. Come hungry, come early. Bites on Bay, presented by the Tourism Development Corporation.
Looking to elevate your gadget game, or are tech troubles simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows, or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Get ready for the biggest football game of the year, Super Bowl 60. We have the best seat in the house for you. Join Star 106.5 All-Star Team live at Anthony's on Paradise Island on Super Bowl Sunday, February 8th from 2 to 6 p.m. Enjoy giant screens, delicious fun food, ice-cold Collick Bear specials, prizes and surprises non-stop. It's the place to be for Super Bowl Sunday. Anthony's on Paradise Island. Watch the Patriots take on the Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
The Star 106.5 All-Star Team will be there to cheer you on from 2 to 6 p.m. It's the biggest Sunday of the year for the biggest game of the year, Super Bowl 60, live at Anthony's on Paradise Island. Don't miss it.
Every day in a busy world, bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, you're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, Anyway Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. Anyway Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that?
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are talkradio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at morningblend969 or facebook.com/morningblend969. Text us 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Laverne Gardner. Laverne, good morning.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning to our listeners.
Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Doing pretty good, pretty good. So we know it's been pretty
Excellent.
cool here. Some would say downright cold, but we
I would be
know,
the sum, but go
yeah.
ahead.
Well, I mean,
It's been
Nassau is
cold.
one thing, but Freeport, you're way up there. You're quite a bit north of us. You're north of Miami. You're north of Fort Lauderdale. So what's it been like for you guys?
Cold. It's been very cold,
Just
Dwight.
simply that.
Ah,
Wind
yes.
chills in the 30s on the weekend. I
It's
mean,
been windy. It was, it's one thing for it to be cold, but then when you add in that wind factor, that
yeah.
is a whole other ball game.
My goodness.
So
Wow.
yeah.
Well, another dose coming today. So hope
Yes,
you're ready for that.
apparently.
Hope you're ready for
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Oh boy, somebody's messaging saying I'll never be angry about the heat again. Well,
No, I'm gonna be angry about that. Vern, I know you don't like, but now about the heat, I'm like, no, I still hate the heat as
yeah,
well.
right. We can hate both. We can hate both.
Yeah, I can do both.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Anyway, good to hear that you are here and doing well with us. So wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful as always. All right, so we got quite a bit to talk about in the news, but also this morning we're going to get some details about the upcoming Bahama Jack Conference, Bahama Jack 2026 from JA Bahamas. What do you need to know about that in just a bit? But right now, let's get into it. What's in the news? In the news, we learned a little bit more about the new hospital and what this is going to look like in terms of labor, the labor component. Some documents were tabled in the House yesterday. The new hospital will have a 50-50 labor split. And the government is hoping to improve that, though. And for more on this, take a listen to this report from our Vonnie Toot.
Bahamians will make up just half of the workforce for the construction of a multi-million-dollar specialty hospital along New Providence Highway. That's according to a contractor's report tabled by Minister of Health Dr. Michael Darville in the House of Assembly on Wednesday.
In the contractor's report, it confirmed that 50% of the workforce will be Bahamian, and 50% of the workforce of this project will be foreign workers. But I must admit that discussions are still ongoing for a better ratio of Bahamian construction workers. During the construction, assessment teams will operate on site in collaboration with the Department of Labor and Immigration. This process would allow for close monitoring of compliance, and skilled Bahamian workers will be registered, assessed, and where qualified, referred directly to the contractor for employment.
He asserted the government will not tolerate any violations.
Let me make it very clear. Any violations to this agreement will result in fines to the contractor. On-site training programs will also be implemented to ensure that a project of this complexity, we have adequate transfer of knowledge. Concrete batching will occur both on-site and off-site to ensure local concrete companies get a piece of the pie. Much of the aggregate generated at the site during land preparation will be used during the construction phase, including landscaping and parking lot construction.
The contractor's report was among 9 documents tabled, including the Bahamas Hospital Feasibility Report, the loan agreement with China Exim Bank, the Construction Environmental Management Plan, the Environmental Impact Assessment, the Certificate of Environmental Clearance, the Department of Physical Planning Site Approval, Drainage Assessment and Flood Mitigation Report, and the Land Clearing Contract. The 200-bed healthcare facility will take 36 months to complete, followed by a 3-year maintenance contract.
That there's a transfer of knowledge so that when the foreign counterpart depart the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the facility will be maintained by trained Bahamian workforce.
Darville noted that tractors will arrive on site next week to begin land preparation.
Shortly after, foundation will be laid out and the work will begin leading up to the vertical construction. Mr. Deputy, during my public consultations, concerns were raised by many residents from the surrounding area that the construction of this new hospital will worsen flood conditions in the Papal Track area and the Grove area. I am pleased to report that after careful assessment, the drainage and flood mitigation report by local engineers verified that the hospital will not worsen flooding in the surrounding communities.
Okay, our Vonique toot with that report there. So the health minister making a case again for the need for this hospital, this specialty hospital. Our Rachel Scott writing more about that in today's Nassau Guardian. Tells on the loan agreement, which provides that construction will be undertaken by Beijing-based China Railway Construction Company, which he noted has a large footprint in the Caribbean and is currently building hospitals in Trinidad and Guyana. And he said, quote, the financing will be at a favorable interest rate of 2% over a 20-year period, inclusive of an additional 5-year grace period. As you know, the hospital has been controversial in the context of the country's struggling public health care system, where an aging Princess Margaret Hospital is often the subject of critique, given resource, staffing, and space shortages, as well as the need for critical upgrades. Many, including the opposition, the F&M, have expressed their view that money would be better spent improving the facilities that already exist and are challenged on a daily basis. Well, Darville, though, laid out a justification for the new facility, citing studies dating back nearly 30 years that laid out the physical and operational limits of PMH at its current location. He noted a growing population, high incidence of non-communicable diseases, and high rates of cancer, as well as evolving public health threats that place strain on the hospital health threats. He said, quote, the yearly healthcare budget continues to grow, exceeding $300 million. It never seems to be enough. Epidemiological evidence over the last 15 to 20 years verify that despite the budgetary increases, the Bahamas continues to experience one of the highest incidences of maternal and neonatal mortality rates in the region. Okay, really? This reality, along with the increased incidence of chronic non-communicable diseases affecting mothers seeking antenatal care, demonstrated the country's need for a specialty hospital. This approach to maternal and child care in places like Trinidad and Tobago, along with strong antenatal programs and the clinics, proved to be very effective in reducing infant mortality rates. So the government predicts construction of the hospital will take about 30 to 36 months from the groundbreaking. He says that once it's operational, it will help to reduce the strain on operations at PMH. He says, quote, this will make way for essential renovations in order to expand medical and surgical services at Princess Margaret Hospital. Now, as for the timing of the project and suggestions that it will be placed on the back burner, Darville said it is important that action be taken now, saying, quote, while we consider all views, experience has taught us that major national infrastructural projects follow a process that will never truly present at the perfect moment. Delaying action in search of ideal timing only postpones solutions, or in some cases prevents them from materializing at all. All right, let's get your reaction to what he said there, that this will help to ease the burden on PMH. And once they get this facility running, they'll be able to do the desperately needed renovations at PMH. Let's get your reaction to that before we get to what he had to say about the healthcare system and responding to comments from the nurses union and the various doctors unions. We'll get to that in a bit. But let's get your reaction to what we're hearing about the hospital, the labor component, and the reinforcing the need for such a hospital here in New Providence. Laverne and callers, you can call us 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Laverne, we've got some calls. Let's take these, and then we'll get to your text messages as well. Good morning, caller. You are live on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
And good morning, Laverne.
Good morning.
Yeah, Dwight and Laverne. The statement you read said that the facility that is being built, the specialty hospital, will reduce some of the problems that we see happening inside Princess Margaret, right?
Yes, that's what he's trying to suggest. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out then, and then you mentioned specialty hospital for maternity and children and all them type of stuff, stuff like that, right? So right now, the crisis in the hospital isn't in the maternity ward, though they suggesting it, right? And yeah, children need to be protected, despite vehemency and having no kids, right? But we have
that's not. Come on now.
We have problems inside places like on our wards, right, and throughout the hospital, right. So for the party, I mean, for the government to suggest that they build a specialty hospital. If I live in Carmichael Road, Cable Beach, or Foxhill, anywhere I live inside New Providence, if I get as a male get in any type of injury right next to that hospital, I can't be accepted there because there's no facility to deal with adults. So I am
not emergency situations, but if it's more than just maternal and child, right?
But they need to come out clearly and tell us what it is, because just like the lady with that just show indicated the other day, right? She's saying the same thing with everybody speculating, and she was there. I mean, she is there. So the government need to come out and tell us exactly what benefits that the regular Joe Blow can be able to experience at this place, because on the street nobody you could talk to knows is saying that this hospital will be something that they could utilize, right?
Well, okay. Well, I mean, I wouldn't expect the people on the street to know, but yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying. But according to Dr. Darville, I mean, this is news to me. I didn't think we were. I thought we were actually pretty good in terms of mortality rates when it comes to these things. But he says we're higher than we should be.
But show us that right? Could they show us that statistic? Mm-hmm. Right? Could we see that? Could that be published in the newspaper, the Guardian, or something, so that we could be on board that look what these guys are saying is the truth? Because this party has no credibility when it relates to just coming and saying things. Could you just mortality rate amongst women losing babies? Okay. Could they do that?
Well, or maybe we'll have to do it. We'll have to do the research and put it out there for people to see.
Because, again, Bahamian people, they ain't having no children. And
you got to stop saying that. You got to stop saying that.
Yes, I saw it. Right. Mm-hmm. The majority of Bahamians are not having children the way they used to. They are not. Mm-hmm. And we need to be fair with that one,
But there are a lot of sick children. A lot of sick children, a lot of sick mothers. And so...
Yes, I agree with that, right. But I agree with any benefit for any sick mothers or children is needed, right? But we as a people, we will suffering with an old hospital that's as old as 70-something years, crying every day to have a facility constructed to benefit all in sundry. So how you could just come up with bringing up putting a facility in place and still leaving the old antiquated hospital there but no man, something got to be wrong with that a nice day, Dwight.
Okay. Go ahead. Thanks a lot. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. And Laverne is in the house?
Yes, she is.
Oh, Laverne.
Good morning.
Yes. I trust you're staying warm.
Yes.
Dwight, I question the vision to put that hospital where it's located. The population of the Bahamas is more in the south central area. We already have a hospital that's in the northeastern area.
In Providence.
I'm wondering, would it have been a smart idea to come to the public and say, could we get some recommendations from you as to where we should place this hospital, or just do their basic research on demographics?
Again, it's not an accident and emergency center. So
okay,
perhaps,
it's not an accident emergency center, but if I present myself there, as you previously said, with an accident, if I just come there, are they going to say, I have to take you to PMH?
Probably. Unless you are a mother in labor or a child, maybe. It doesn't sound like that would be the place for you to go.
So you just won't go there. You would have to go. You would just go somewhere else.
Go to where you've been going. Go to where you've been going.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, this is going to bring some relief to where you've been going because there'll be more beds there. But I'm learning from your previous guest that it really isn't the problem with beds; it's the problem with nurses.
Right. It's a staff issue, and how we're going to address that. Will he talk about that? We're going to get to the article about working on the system in a bit. But that is the issue. So you have a hospital and you have all these specialties there, but who's going to work on the people who are there? And that is the bigger problem, apparently.
But don't you think that should be placed more like in South Beach? It'll be easier if I'm in Fox Hill. It's easier. This sounds like a hospital for those people who are fluent to get to more easier.
The people who are what?
Well, who have more money. Look where it's located. It's in the northern area, northwestern, whatever you want to put it. But wouldn't that be better placed in south, where most of the people live?
I don't know. Again, it's not an emergency center.
Yeah, I know it's not an emergency center, but if a person present themselves in labor, and or they have a labor issue and they're in south, they have to travel all the way north to get to that hospital. And most of the people who are having children are living not in the area where the hospital is located. Mm-hmm. You agree with that, Ray?
Well, the traffic in the south is awful. If you can be going in the opposite direction of where people are heading, maybe it might be better for you. I don't know.
Anyway, I'm listening in to see if we can learn how this could really benefit the whole, don't let's just look at the fact that Bahamians, everybody, you don't know who's Bahamian until they present themselves. And if you're here and you need care, I understand that we have to facilitate you. We have to facilitate you. So that's the end of this. That's a no-brainer, right?
Right.
How are we going to get paid for persons who don't have the money to pay for the services? Are they going to say, you have to wait until you get some money?
These are great questions. Questions. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Let's take a couple more calls. Caller, you're on the air. Hi, are you there?
Hey, good morning. How you doing, Dwight?
Doing well.
All right, good. LeBron, how you doing? My thing is, the first caller, when he mentioned that the low birth rate, and you told him not to say that, but statistically...
He's saying that there are no Bahamians having children, which is crazy.
That's what our statistics said, and that's what National Insurance
Nobody ever said that. They're saying that we're not having as many children, Let me
finish. This is what National Insurance said. If you go back on your record, you will find that. And the statistics said that. So
said what?
One of the wonder.
Said what?
Who you building this clinic for? And one more thing. Dr. Dowell's talking about this new hospital, and they're pushing this so fastly, right? If you cannot even staff the hospital we have, how are you going to staff this new hospital? These are the questions the journalists need to ask him.
Everyone's asking that all the time. And he knows.
And he refused to answer.
No, they don't know the answer. They're working. They're trying to get people, but that is the big question. Absolutely, that is the question.
Yeah, have a good day.
Okay. Nobody's saying nobody's having children. They're not having as many children. But you all are trying to turn this into a different type of conversation. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yes. Good morning, Mr. Strachan. Good morning, Laverne.
Hi.
I have a concern.
Good morning.
Mr. Strachan, couple of things are said that absolutely is counterintuitive and makes no sense. They're saying that, well, I know a Bahamian woman that has 5 children. She's 31. I know one who I saw in the clinic the other day has about 6. So they're having children. I don't know if it's enough, but it doesn't matter. The thing is, if you're going to allow unabated migration from everywhere, right? And then you're going to cry wolf about capacity or the ability to do so. What's the point? It's like counterintuitive. If you're going to allow unabated migration,
who is doing that? Who's allowing unabated migration?
Doing it. It doesn't matter. It's
no, but I mean, is it real? Is it accurate to say that? That's how you perceive it. That's how it feels at times. But I mean, is it really fair to say?
Another topic that's very important.
Yeah, but let's not say those type things, though. Who's allowing unabated migration?
All right, but can I say something that's very important that my observation? All right, I had a conversation with Dr. Pinto yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the problems we are facing, so he said there's some updated equipment, et cetera, as it relates to surgery. So if we look at a hospital that's antiquated, even in medical armamentarium, right? What happens now is, this is what I've experienced. If you have outdated equipment and as far as surgeries, what happens then is you have more complications post-surgery. Then, hence, you have people in the hospital for longer periods of time because the equipment is not being updated. And so it's counterintuitive also because it burdens down the system when people spend more time in the hospital because of complications post-surgery. That's all I wanted to say. So, I mean, without conversations with the general public, who they think are very ignorant, it's mindless. Have a good day.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. All right. Let's squeeze in these calls quickly. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, are you there? Yes, good morning. You're live on the air.
Dwight, good morning. How you doing?
Doing well. Good morning.
I listened to the presentation with Dr. Davo yesterday, and I didn't come away with all of the previous callers are expressing. One is he did speak to the drainage of nurses from the system. And he said that the ministry was addressing that. He mentioned the recruitment of a certain number of nurses from 2 different countries. Cuba, I think Cuba was one of them. He also mentioned the return of an additional, I think it was just under 50 nurses from retirement. But he did speak to the human resources aspect. Obviously, we have to keep in mind that there are limitations to resources in terms of financial. I also didn't come away with the understanding that the hospital itself was as exclusive as in terms of prenatal as people are making it. He was able to point out the linkage between the alleviating EMH in terms of space and bed, but also the ability to further address the deterioration of the actual physical structure stuff in terms of remodeling, et cetera, et cetera. It wasn't a 100% driven presentation, but I think it, in my view, it was it gave hope and renewed appreciation for what needs to be done in healthcare in the Bahamas. One of the concerns that I having listened to much of the presentation yesterday, Dwight, one of the concerns that I came away with is the amount of debt that the Bahamas is moving into for many of these projects. The Minister of Energy and the Minister of Health, just between the two of those presentations, the level of debt associated with it is very concerning to me. Finally, there was this issue with labor. I believe that we have struggled for too long under these heads of agreement that we seem powerless to promote a highly aggressive set of benefits for Bahamian workers. And I think that the challenge for the Bahamas going forward is to, at all costs, at all costs. We're going to be paying debt for generations to come, based on the amount of debt that was mentioned yesterday. And to end up with a 50-50 labor component is we have to do a much better job at pushing back on financing that doesn't empower the Bahamian workforce better than this particular contract. Thank you.
Okay, I hear you. So the remember now, Laverne, I'm sure you remember this. The main this hospital is supposed to be doing a lot of different things. It may not be an emergency facility, but the specialty maternal and neonatal, but there were other things as well. And I got to find the latest list of what it includes, but it's quite a few things. Let's take a look at it here. Okay. Wow. These phones are something else. All right, so again, it's supposed to specialize in maternal and pediatric wards, right? The specialized maternal and pediatric wards. But it also said that there were going to be diagnostic lab facilities, emergency intensive care services, surgical suites, a reference morgue. This is on the website, the government website, but I believe there were other things as well. Infectious disease isolation units and green spaces for holistic healing. I think over the past year or two, we've been hearing a lot of different things, but it isn't for pregnant women and babies, but specialties. So it's not like there won't be things there for men, but it wouldn't be for gunshot victims and stuff like that. Are men feeling left out? Is that what's happening?
I don't think that's what's happening.
Huh?
I don't think that's what's
No.
happening.
Okay. Well, it's kind of weird.
No,
Like
I don't
people on
think
the street thinking the
men are
hospital is not for
feeling,
me.
men are feeling left out. I think that what we're seeing is the callers maybe, even though, yes, it's a specialty hospital. The concern is maybe the feeling or concern is that what we needed instead was a general hospital to either replace PMH or to assist PMH. And so, people are calling and expressing that. Not so much that men feel left out, but perhaps they just believe that it should. But you can look at it in the sense that if there is a specialty hospital that's focused on whatever areas, because it's not limited to women neonatal. There are other things, there are diagnostics and all the things that you listed. If you have that, then that takes some of the pressure off of PMH having to do everything. And, so maybe some focus can be given to also upgrading PMH then, and putting it in a better position to be able to provide the kinds of services that everyday citizens may need, So I really just believe that that's the concern. This specialty hospital, as opposed to a maybe general hospital. And I think that was being echoed from the time it was announced that this would be a specialty hospital. So I won't say that it's men feeling left out. It's maybe the general public looking and saying, listen, we go to PMH for so many things. And as everybody has said, those who work there, those who have to go to hospital, all of that the conditions need to improve. So the hope has always been that there would be another general hospital and not necessarily a specialty one.
Well, let's read this again, what Darville said. Darville said that once it is operational, it'll help to reduce the strain on operations at PMH. Saying, quote, once these specialty services at PMH move to the new hospital, this would make way for essential renovations in order to expand medical and surgical services at Princess Margaret Hospital.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So I think that's just it. But like the caller said, we're still concerned about staffing, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're already at a shortage, how do you address that um, in time to make sure that you um, have a specialty hospital, but it's not properly
Right.
staffed?
And this is what
Or you have a PMH and it's not properly staffed because some staff went to the specialty hospitals.
yeah. Well, this is what Dr. Lockhart said from the CPSA on a couple days ago, right? That they have all these
Right.
beautiful clinics all over the place, but there's not enough medical to
Right.
man them. All right, so let's get to what he said, Dr. Darville said about this, working to strengthen the healthcare system. Our Rachel Scott writing about it in today's National Guardian. So as healthcare workers sound the alarm on the conditions within the public health system, Dr. Michael Darville yesterday acknowledged the mounting concerns as he assured that the government has been working steadily at the issue. So he made the comments as he noted that a years-long renovation project at Princess Margaret Hospital's accident and emergency is finally complete, saying, quote, "We can all agree that every Bahamian deserves access to safe, affordable, compassionate health care supported by well in modern clinics and hospitals, but we know that our healthcare system carries legacy issues that are compounded by its aging infrastructure and financial challenges. The issue of shortage of bed space, overcrowding at our accident and emergency at PMH and the Rand Memorial Hospital, coupled with new emerging threats to public health." He keeps saying this. What is he talking about? What new emerging threats to public health? What is this?
To say.
Oh
We
my
have
gosh.
to say.
What is happening? Was it okay? Anyway, and manpower shortages continue to affect our ability to respond the way we should at the two major public hospitals. We hear the legitimate cries of our people and will continue to respond by improving service. We've executed our evidence-based plan by upgrading clinics and critical spaces at the Rand Memorial Hospital and the Princess Margaret Hospital. Finally, after the PMH accident and emergency is finally complete, and shortly we will start the kitchen and the legacy ward. Legacy ward, okay. Darville's comments came just one day after Consultant Physician Staff Association President Dr. Sherelle Lockhart described the state of operations at Princess Margaret Hospital as the worst she's witnessed in her 22-year tenure. She said that right here on this program. She described severe staff, medication, and equipment shortages as she urged Bahamians to truly take their health into their own hands as much as possible, given the state of the public health facilities, which she described as scary to say the least. Those are her words. Lockhart's comments were the latest to draw attention to what has, in recent years, emerged as dire situation in the public health, in the public hospitals in particular. Darville yesterday, though, maintained that his ministry is steadfast in the implementation of its transformative healthcare agenda. He said, quote, "We've recruited and trained healthcare professionals, strengthened legislation, advanced digitization, and health information systems with the aim of establishing a new patient-centered integrated healthcare model. We continue to have meaningful dialogue with our unions, and we are addressing outstanding issues at the bargaining table to lessen and complete outstanding industrial agreements." Darville says that recruitment efforts have been a key priority during his tenure, though challenges remain due to a global healthcare worker shortage. Saying, quote, "The truth of the matter is that we are addressing this issue of manpower shortages for all fronts, and to date, more than 500 new hires were added to my ministry's pay sheet, and more staff is needed. We continue our recruitment exercises, with some 47 retired nurses re-entering the system next month." Wow. Along
Will
with...
they be getting their pay and pension?
Y'all need to worry about them coming back. That's a good thing. Don't ask any questions about that as long as they come back. Well, it is a good question. It's a very good question. But be thankful. I suppose they'll say that they are returning. Wow. They're re-entering the system next month, along with an additional 50.
And then the 500 that's added to the pay sheet, are the 500, are they being added in the areas that are most needed? Because I mean, and you could have 500, but you know, these are just questions. Continue. I'm sorry.
Okay. And also, in addition to the retired nurses, they're going to have 47 nurses that's the 47 retired, and 50 nurses from Ghana earmarked for the RAND and PMH. He said, quote, training is paramount. Midwives, pharmacists, and allied health professionals are being trained both at home, online, and abroad. The Public Hospitals Authority Academy, private sector colleges, and the University of the Bahamas, Doctors Hospital, and international partners are all part of this integrated pathway to improve our local health workforce. He said, yes, like other Caribbean countries, we are losing nurses to private hospitals abroad. My ministry is addressing many of these issues brought to our attention by the Nursing Council and the union to help stop this hemorrhaging. All right, so we're going to get your reaction to that when we come back from the news, and a lot more to talk about on this Thursday morning. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you. No pills gonna cure my ill. I got a bad case of loving you. A pig don't make no pretty.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. Also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow, Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:23, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. So we've got a gale warning and wind advisory now in effect for the northern and northwest Bahamas. And a gale watch is in effect for the central Bahamas. Small craft operators urged to seek safe harbor and remain in port in these areas. We've also got a severe weather watch that's coming into effect for portions of the central and southeast Bahamas. Well, the entire southeast Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands, and these islands in the central Bahamas Island, San Salvador, and Rum Key. So this severe weather watch will remain in effect from noon to midnight. So we've got a lot going on from multiple systems, multiple directions for today and over the next few days. So we've got a moist, unstable air mass originating from the southwestern Caribbean Sea, combined with an inbound shortwave trough barreling in from the Gulf of Mexico. That's going to spark scattered showers and a few rumbles of thunder across the southern half of the country this afternoon. Some storms may turn severe into the evening and nighttime hours. Meanwhile, a developing low-pressure system looming offshore of the eastern United States will sweep a fast-moving cold front across the area, bringing strong gusty winds and cooler temperatures through tonight. So those brisk winds are going to continue on Friday with a lighter wind regime coming into effect by Saturday across portions of the Bahamas. A secondary low will form northeast of the area, keeping choppy and high seas in place along Atlantic beaches. A dry continental air mass will linger across the region behind that cold front, and that's going to keep lower than usual temperatures and diminish rain chances throughout the country this weekend heading into next week. So another blast of cool temperatures coming just as we began to warm up slightly today. High pressure will gradually build towards the end of the extended forecast period, ushering in a welcome warming trend. A few more days of this, folks. So either brace yourselves or take in as much as you can. For today, though, beginning this afternoon, there will be a high risk of dangerous life-threatening rip currents and rough surf along all northern, western, and Atlantic exposed shorelines. And there's a minor to moderate threat of beach erosion and coastal flooding along all northern and western shorelines. So pedestrians and motorists along coastal roadways need to exercise caution. So for today, for the northern half of the country, partly sunny at first, becoming partly cloudy to cloudy by this afternoon. Conditions may become more overcast into the evening hours, with skies gradually clearing by tonight for the extreme northern islands and lingering a little bit longer for the rest of the northwest Bahamas. Slightly elevated chances of rain today and possible thunderstorms, a 20 to 30% chance of showers for the northern half of the country. For the central and southeast Bahamas, cloudy to overcast today, a 40 to 70% chance of showers for those islands we mentioned in the central Bahamas, Long Island, San Salvador, and Rum Cay, and a 30 to 50% chance of showers for the rest of the area. 20 to 40% chance for the southeastern islands, increasing to 40 to 70% chance by this evening. Temperatures today, we're looking at highs. As we said, we've warmed up a bit. Highs in the mid to upper 70s for most areas, between 25 and 26. Lows tonight in the upper 50s, low 60s for the extreme northern islands, and the low 60s for the rest of the northwest Bahamas. The mid 60s for the central islands, and the low 70s for the southeast Bahamas today. For tomorrow, Friday, mostly sunny, turning fair at night for the northern, northwest, and central Bahamas, but partly cloudy to cloudy, turning mostly fair at night for the southeastern islands. Temperatures down a bit with highs in the low 70s, even the mid to upper 60s for some of the northernmost islands. And by Saturday, similar pattern with mostly sunny conditions, a few cloudy periods, and similar temperatures for the islands into Sunday, when we gradually begin to warm up a bit and for the start of the work week, before returning to normal temperatures by Wednesday. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. Are you looking to paint? Well, your local Sherwin-Williams store has top quality paints, expert advice, and everyday discounts to help you save only at Sherwin-Williams. And time for a check of traffic, brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your ideas happen here. In your real-time traffic, we are seeing a number of hot spots for you. Milo Butler Highway, as usual, heavy traffic from well south of the Fire Trail roundabout straight through to Tonic Williams Darling Highway. But north of that, as you head into New Providence Highway, you're going to see that slow-moving traffic, especially as you make your way to Sports Center Road and the roundabout there. And north of that area as you approach the six-legged roundabout. Six-legged roundabout having issues along the John F. Kennedy Drive side, heavy eastbound traffic there. Slow-moving traffic on the New Providence Highway southbound side. And Farrington Road busy for you if you're heading southwest right now. Up on West Bay Street near Saunders Beach, slow-moving traffic eastbound to the roundabout with New Providence Highway. And you're going to be seeing heavy traffic along West Bay Street, especially east of Arawak Key near Nassau Street as you approach downtown Nassau. Blue Hill Road, another hotspot for you. Heavy traffic from well south of St. Vincent Road this morning all the way to north of Independence Drive. You're going to see that as you approach Robinson Road, and again, busy for you as you get closer to Big Pond and Cordo Avenue. Independence Drive back to both directions between the roundabouts of Blue Hill and East Street. Heavy traffic there. And East Street, north and south of the Soldier Road intersection, heavy traffic for you, mainly northbound. Then there's Prince Charles Drive into Robinson Road, heavy traffic as you get west of Beatrice Avenue, heading into Robinson, there all the way up to Old Trail and even Marathon at East West Highway. And Eastern Road also very slow near San Souci, and especially west of Fox Hill northbound, slow-moving traffic as well. And the Eastern Road pretty much all the way up to west of Johnson Road, you're going to see that this morning. Those are your hotspots, and that's your real-time traffic. Also brought to you by NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers, your partner for smart motor insurance and advice that puts you first, whether you're at home or on the go. Getting an instant motor quote is easy. Give them a call or visit your nearest branch or log in anytime at nuainsurance.com.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, you're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC and you.
Southwest Plaza has so many stores, I've been trying to find a sensible way to list them all. There's CBS Bahamas, the Ashai Institute, BENC Snack World, Bamboo Shack Bahamas, they're the Athlete's Foot and BTC, Games and More, John Bull Fine Threads, Alive, Bahari, Dairy Queen, 700 Wines and Spirits, Sandy's Clarkson Island Lock, Starbucks and Lowe's Pharmacy, plus Marco's Pizza and Lorraine. Southwest Plaza, what a wide array of stores. Southwest Plaza, stop by today and explore.
Doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you. No pills gonna cure my ill. I got a bad case of loving you.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to be talking with J.A. Bahamas. Laverne, you there? Yep.
Yes, I
Okay,
am.
there we go. We're going to be talking with J.A. Bahamas about their Bahama Jack conference coming up. That's coming up. But we continue our discussion with what's in the news. Before the break, we were talking about the health minister, Dr. Michael Darville, explaining the 50-50 labor split with the new hospital, the new specialty hospital that they're going to build on the Providence Highway. And also talking about addressing the many concerns that people have in terms of personnel, manpower with the healthcare system, and a lot of people, especially nurses, leaving for greener pastures, maybe, I don't know. So we got a whole lot of text
Yeah, you could
messages.
say that.
Yeah.
They're not leaving for worse, eh?
Definitely not. Definitely
Exactly.
not leaving. Boy, I tell you. All right, so we got a whole lot of your messages. We'll get back to the calls in a bit, but you can text us as well, 422-4796. So we got a few calls, remember, before the break, a lot of angry men saying, questioning, not all, but most,
I don't
questioning.
think that's fair. I don't
Oh,
think
no?
that's fair to say angry man. I don't think that's fair.
Okay. Questioning why we need a specialty hospital for women and children. Angry like this texter, Laverne. This person says here, we simply do not need a hospital for women and children because based on NIB's stats, Bahamian women are not having children at the rates needed to sustain the pension fund. Okay, this is discrimination against men if men can't receive emergency health care at that hospital. Y'all want men dead? A lot of sick mothers and children. There are a lot of sick men too, Dwight. This is ridiculous. And how could you ask Laverne, a woman, if men are feeling left out? We are feeling left out. Put women in the rat-infested hospital. That's a text from one of our wonderful men in the country. Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So okay.
So isn't the rat infested hospital where everybody goes now?
I guess put the men in the new one, and the women, and the children. Put them in the PMH.
That's just one. That's just
You
one
think so?
factor.
You better hope so. You better hope so. I don't know. But as I told you off here, Laverne, a lot of the men who have more than 4 children are the ones saying the Bahamian women aren't having children. So what's going on? What does that mean? You haven't? No?
Yes, they're saying that because maybe they have 4 and 5 different baby mamas. So that's just one each. You know what I mean?
But who are the baby mamas? They're not Bahamians? Oh, but only one of the baby mamas has one of the kids, but 4 kids with 1 kid each. And so that, okay. Bahamian women aren't having kids, but I have 4 kids. Okay. Interesting. I hope Labor Board will regularly go to the site to verify that the workforce ratio is agreed on, and that's agreed on will be held up or upheld. We remember what happened with other projects. Okay. The move of maternal and child health services will only open 4 wards for mothers and healthy newborns and maybe 4 to 6 wards for children. Make it make sense. Again, it's not just that. That'll be the main focus, but it'll be other things as well.
Right. Because it did say diagnostics and I think a couple of other
lab
things. So
stuff.
It's not, and labs.
Yeah.
So it's not just going to be that. That may be the main focus, but it won't be that alone.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, the rat thing, I'm still hung up on that. Put the women, the children there.
Right.
But I mean, is it a joke? Is he being funny, or is that?
Maybe he means that. Maybe he means it.
So which egg in the woods did he hatch from? I mean, I don't understand. Put the women in the rat vest. Okay. Wow. Dwight and Laverne, what I would like to hear Dr. Darville explain is if we can't staff the hospital now, where will the staff, where will we get little? Yeah. Okay. This is what, everyone's asking that question.
Nurses are coming out of retirement. Mm-hmm. They have nurses in training.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So. Well, this text says just another government building to deteriorate in the next 10 years. Can't continue to think like that, though. But I hear you. Based on the past. Based on the past.
But right, I'm saying, it's not like that text is just pulling that out of the air. It happens. You have these beautiful hospitals, clinics, and it's wonderful, and then it's closed.
Mm-hmm. Or collapses.
They don't, right. Because they don't have enough manpower.
Yeah. This texter says here, why are they hell-bent on this hospital when the nurses, the doctors, the opposition, the country is telling them that this is not the right course of action for the problem? Mm-hmm. Okay.
They have a plan.
This person says they're not being insensitive to women at all, but we need a specialty hospital for mothers and babies more than we need one. But do we need, I think they're saying, do we need one for mothers and babies more than we need one for the incredibly high incidences of non-communicable diseases? Am I missing something? It might be related. I don't know. Maybe if you can deal with these issues from the beginning, it might not get to that point. I don't know. I can't answer it. We hope to have Dr. Darville on soon.
Right, and perhaps he'll be better able. Because right now we're just trying to logically think of what could be the reason,
but he is saying this will free up space for other things at Princess Margaret Hospital and allow for the renovations that are desperately needed. What are they saying here? I think they're saying I previously thought that our neonatal unit was among the best in the Caribbean. Based on what you've read, though, and what I've heard through the years, I thought, our neonatal unit was among the best in the Caribbean. I kind of was thinking along the same lines. That's why I paused when he said that the numbers
I was
are
too,
slipping.
but then after I heard that, I said, okay, I guess I was mistaken.
Well, I looked it up during the break, and our numbers slipped during COVID, but that's understandable, though.
Right.
So they went down. But they are within the regional average, which could be better. But, and then it's 2 different things, whether you have a high rate of infant mortality and a wonderful neonatal system. They're very different things. So you might still have one of the best in the region, but that doesn't mean that the mortality rate is low or lower than what we see in the region. But we need clarity with the caller who said that the government needs to come clear and come clean and put that in. Put it out there. This is what we're dealing with. This is why we think this will be better if we move this away from here and put that there. Just say it. Just say it. This texter says here, the high infant mortality rate has less to do with the absence of a maternal and child specialty hospital and more to do with a lack of consultant-level staff managing the patients. Staff will tell you that the junior doctors manage most of these patients. The consultants are rarely involved. The Minister of Health should invest in consultant level, or the ministry should invest in consultant level staff who are assigned to the hospital and not primarily in private practice. Ask around, this is no secret. Well, okay. Invest. It's an interesting word to use. They're there, though. That is exactly what Dr. Lockhart does, who is our guest, who is the head of the Consultant Physician Staff Association. She is in pediatrics and neonatal. So, but you're saying they should have more. Well, this person says here, this new hospital is subtly built for those people who are here breeding every year. Wow. Okay, that's an interesting word to use there. Bahamian women need incentives to encourage them to have babies. Some baby formula costs as much as Pampers. As much as $40 in Pampers, and healthcare is very high. Okay, so the Bahamian women need... I'm very curious, texter, are you a man or a woman texting this? Just maybe if you don't mind saying.
Incentive.
The incentives would be men who don't talk like this. I think that would be very helpful. Right?
I don't know what kind of incentive.
So, I mean,
on that,
who's going to incentivize the men to stop being... Wow. I'm embarrassed by this government to tell old men... What? Old men to sell an inferior hospital to citizens who need a general hospital. Inferior. Yes, there is unabated migration that this new hospital and these outdated plunge in on us. That makes absolutely no sense. I don't know what's happening with the text. Lots of words are not where they should be. From retrofitting a plane to a maternity hospital, these men need to go fly a kite. Okay. Wow. Why are people acting like there is something wrong with a specialty hospital? I'd like to know. Hospitals reroute and transfer patients to other hospitals all the time for them to get the necessary care. My main concern is outfitting and staffing the hospital. Yeah, that is the big problem right there. This person says here, you cannot invest millions in construction of a new hospital and then say we're going to try to see how we'll staff it. This is upside down. And with unabated migration, there was a story in the news that is troubling me. It was indicated that large-scale nonprofit support was headed for Andros, our largest island. What I know of international you say a nonprofit, entity? Because you're saying support. What? A large part of their resources go to undocumented migrants because they will, by definition, be most vulnerable. What is troubling me is why the sudden ramp up, and does this coincide? Again, it's not that the bill's not called that. All of the equipment and staffing will be geared to women and children. You can't just show up as a male in demand service. Who will see you? The gynecologist? We're agreeing with you. That's not how it's going to work.
Well, if you have lab work to be done, you can just show up.
Well, you'd be sent there or told to go there.
Right.
Don't just show up.
Go there.
But
you need blood work.
Go where they tell you to go. Right. But
it's clear, right? So you'll know it's already out there of where you need to go for what. So there shouldn't be any confusion.
It's not only for men. It's not only men feeling left out, but women who are not of childbearing age. Oh my God! Really? Are you a woman who is not of childbearing age texting us, saying that? Are you sure? Send a picture. I don't believe you. Laverne is absolutely right. The people want a new general hospital that facilitates all services.
And I think that all of everything, and that's what I'm talking about when I initially said, even though the text has said I shouldn't be commenting on whether men feel left out. I think the overall sentiment underneath all of this stuff is that the public sees, most of the public, or a lot of public sees this as not a good idea because what's needed is a general hospital. And that is when we move past all of this, this one is left out, the next one is left out. That's what it is.
Okay, so the public might feel they need that, but this is the problem we're having. There might be a very valid reason to do more specialty hospitals, and the public.
I don't disagree.
Right.
But if you don't know that,
right, the Ministry of Health needs to do a better job explaining this. And clearly, they need to explain this to the doctors and nurses who work at PMH too, right? How this will work and why this will work.
Because the general public, they aren't the only one who have questioned about the specialty hospital.
Yeah.
Right?
And as we've said for a while now, we probably need a few more trauma centers as well. And maybe that the previous caller was saying that wouldn't Carmichael or the southern part of the island be better? Maybe we need a trauma center out there.
And so
right?
in the absence of a proper explanation or, that will let us know the thinking why a specialty. Because like you said, there may be some mitigating factors that we are not aware of. But in the absence of that explanation, people will make assumptions. And our people, we're going to make assumptions anyway.
Yeah.
But at least if we have the explanation out there,
Absolutely.
we can say, well, this is why or that is why. And because we're not getting that, you're also going to get some of this pushback that you're getting. People look at the condition of PMH and they're saying, we need a new hospital, much like over here.
Mm-hmm.
We need a new hospital.
Yeah.
So when you hear they've broken ground or a hospital is coming, automatically you think, okay, we see the condition of this place, it's about time. And then you're made to understand, well, this is going to be a specialty hospital, so its focus will only be on X, Y, and Z. You're thinking, what? But we need a new hospital.
Yeah.
A new general hospital.
Maybe.
And that's where people are.
Right. Maybe.
Maybe?
Well,
you're not sure.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Specialty hospitals and trauma centers, again, staffing will be the most important thing, could really alleviate a lot of the problems. If there were a trauma center in the southern part of New Providence, I think it would make a big difference. Huge difference.
Well, why not trauma center? Again, probably came down to staffing.
Yeah. All right, a few more messages. We've got a whole lot. We won't be able to get to all of these, and we've got to take a break soon. But this person says here, this is a bunch of lies. The same old knowledge transfer crap. What? It just behooves me. What does that mean? Is that a joke? What does that mean? It behooves you to what? Anyway, I think that was a joke. I think this person's being funny. Anyway, how you all encourage people to vote for this is unbelievable. What? Anyway, in 20 years, when the loan is hopefully paid off, that place will be one big dump. But all those who got kickbacks, their children will be heading to university abroad.
And that's also concerning for me.
The kickbacks?
One of the callers,
what?
John, I think it was John. Not the
kickback.
Okay. I think it was John who talked about the amount of debt that we are going into. Further debt.
The interest rate is quite interesting.
Okay, still debt though.
No, well. The person says here, hold on, we're using hard-earned tax dollars to train foreigners. Tell me that's not what I heard. You're worrying about the wrong thing.
That's not what you heard.
And you're worrying about the wrong thing. Right? We need all hands on deck. Whoever can do it, whoever is skilled. So
I don't
we've
think
got a
there's
crisis.
a situation where we have, and those in nursing can correct me. I don't think it's a situation where we have Bahamian nurses. We're overrun with Bahamian nurses, and they're not being trained, and we're training, as the texter said, foreign nurses. We have a shortage of nurses. We have a shortage of nurses, and that we have already had a shortage. And as you said, Dwight, there are those who are leaving for greener pastures.
Yeah. A few more messages. This person says here, let's be honest with ourselves. Bahamians are not having, here we go again. Bahamians are not having children in this environment. Only immigrants are having children for citizenship. Wow.
See, Dwight, we're not going to be able to get away from that narrative because the narrative started somewhere, right? So we have this issue, but when you go back to national insurance and even the Minister of Foreign Affairs at some point indicated that as many children as we used to, right? And so that kind of supports, when you say that, that's going to support now what everyone or some people are saying.
Here is the hypocrisy of the people of the country. You remember there were town hall meetings and people in the area were complaining about where they were putting the specialty hospital. But as you've heard, plenty of people saying, why wouldn't they put a hospital in the southern part of the island where it's pretty crowded, right? So how is that fine? You'd think that you should put a hospital where everybody is, but the people in the neighborhood, you're making all this noise for this quiet neighborhood. Folks, come on. What are we doing here? What are we doing? This person says here, what are we doing to address the fact that 80% of the reason people are in hospital is preventative? Diabetes, high blood pressure, kidney disease, obesity, gunshot wounds. Yeah.
I think Dr. Lockhart, she was on.
Well,
I don't want to get the name wrong.
Yes, Dr. Lockhart, and she mentioned that
she
as well.
indicated that the time in which we live, we all have a responsibility to take better care of ourselves.
Yeah. Well,
that's the thing. We have to take our health care into our own hands. Now, I'm not saying if you need to get medical help, just talk to yourself. But what I am saying is, like Texter mentioned, what are we eating? Are we exercising? We need to adopt it so that it minimizes us having to go to, whether it's a specialty hospital or a general hospital.
Yeah. And that's on you, right?
Right.
And the Department of Public Health has
That's
been
not
doing
a government thing.
The Ministry of Health has been doing it. They've got the campaigns out there telling people this stuff. But are you listening? And I'm sure you know it when you go and upsize that combo that you're getting right now in the drive-through line, right? You know it. It's not like you haven't heard it before. So that's being done, and they really have stepped up the health education campaigns. But what? What are people doing?
Yeah, we have to take our health really seriously.
Yeah.
We have to begin to do that.
Yeah, one more on this. NIB says Payme women aren't having enough kids, so why we need a hospital for them? There's no issues. Come on, stop it. It's not having as many as we had before, and not having as much to keep the NIB fund that has been not where it should be for many decades, right? But don't run with this in the wrong direction.
Too late.
And scream fire, right? Don't do that. But when it's convenient, people will use data and stats.
Absolutely.
It's just wild. But anyway, again, it's up to the Ministry of Health. They've got to do a better job of explaining, and we hope they understand why they need it. But we are open when you're ready to talk. Dr. Darville, we're hoping to hear from you soon. We've got to take a break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio. Stay with us.
Oh, I'm coming home to you, sweet home Grand Mama. Nowhere else will ever do. Snooping around Dave Grant's house, I met a girl whose name was Jan. I said, please, will you be my lady? She said, I'm looking for no man.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth. so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Are you a Bahamian college or university student with strong research in an economics, finance, or business-related topic? The Central Bank of the Bahamas invites you to enter the T. Baswell Donaldson Research Class. Top finalists will also be selected to participate in the Summer Research Seminar organized by the Central Bank. Submission deadline is April 30th, 2026. For more details, email exr@centralbankbahamas.com.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the know-how team at 396-1101.
Sherwin-Williams Bahamas doesn't mess about when it comes to product range and product knowledge.
If it's a new product come in the store, we walk the store and study that product.
One thing with our boss, if a new product comes in, he takes the time and he's always keeping us up to date with product knowledge. And we just had 9 weeks of different products that we had to study, and we had exams at the end of each product.
Yeah.
The only way we could sell the product effective, we have to know that product. Yeah, that helps us to relate to our customers. It gives us better knowledge to know what product to introduce to them. You understand? So we can know what product to give them to use. And so product knowledge is really key in Sherwin-Williams.
They got the keys. And the key is the product knowledge that comes with our extensive product range at Sherwin-Williams Paints, Bahamas. Find color in every day.
My Bahamas! Let's go! Look at the Bahamas, tell me what you see. A beautiful sunshine sparkling in the sea. A country blessed through all its history. We pause to celebrate our golden jubilee. A nation built on hospitality. Our culture, our people, one legacy. Bahamas, oh Bahamas, Bahamas, oh my Bahamas, Bahamas, oh Bahamas, Bahamas, oh my Bahamas. I went to one just yesterday.
Welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. Changing gears for a bit. JA Bahamas always has something very exciting going on. They're gearing up for their Bahama Jack Conference and more, I'm sure. Here to tell us all about it. Very happy to have back with us Executive Director Tammy Leckie. And we've got the 2025 New Providence Most Distinguished Achiever and a whole lot more. Vaughn Johnson Jr.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Strachan, and good morning, Bahamas.
All right.
My name is Vaughn Johnson Jr. I'm 17 years old, and currently I'm studying law and criminal justice here at the University of the Bahamas. And this year I served as the Most Distinguished Achiever, also as the Most Distinguished Officer for the President role.
Okay, wow, congratulations. That's some good stuff there. We also have a JA alum, Tasia Delaveau. Good morning. And you've got a lot under your belt as well. Tell us about that.
I do. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Bahamas. Good morning, Mr. Strachan. My name is Tasia Delaveau. I am currently a JA advisor for our raccoons, and I am also a JA Bahamas alum.
Okay.
From many, many years ago.
Can't be that many. But good to have you both here. And Laverne is here as well. Don't forget Laverne. Okay.
Good
morning.
Good morning.
All right. So Tammy, everybody's heard of JA Bahamas.
Everybody has heard of JA Bahamas. 47 years of youth development. Offering our learning experiences from kindergarten all the way up to grade 12.
Kindergarten, wow.
Yes, all the way up to grade 12. So yes, we're out there, and I just got off the phone with my program recruiter who says, "Oh, Black Point is coming on in Exuma."
Oh, wow.
So we have new schools, new program areas coming in, quite frequently. We did take a little backseat during COVID.
Everybody did.
Everybody did. Getting back up to speed gradually. Of course, we know that a whole generation changed, right?
Yeah.
And we're still trying to adjust to the shift of this new generation. So it's been a challenge, but I'm happy to say that we are slowly getting back to, numbers and, of course, participation in schools like we had before COVID. But yeah, we're here to talk about our upcoming business conference, which we have just about every year. It's the Junior Achievement Bahamas Business Conference, which we abbreviate to Bahama Jack. All right, so it's Bahama Jack 2026. It's happening February 20th through the 22nd. And here in New Providence, and this year it's going to be at the Bahamar Convention Center. Well, this is a 3-day event. So the first 2 days, Friday and Saturday, will be at the Bahamar Convention Center. And then on Sunday, of course, we Bahamians, right? So we always have to end, if we don't start with it, we end with church, right?
Okay. All right.
So before our Family Island delegates who are coming in from Andros and Eleuthera, Grand Bahama to join, our achievers here in New Providence, we're going to go to church before they head back. But this year as well, we have opened up our conference to non-achievers throughout the Bahamas. So,
this is the first time you're doing that?
This is the first time that we're doing it in Bahamas.
Okay.
We have opened it up for students in New Providence a couple of years back. But now, we're welcoming, any 9th through 12th grader that is interested and, could come, we know y'all have family here. You could come and, stay with your family for that weekend. It is midterm as well. So we do take that into consideration.
Why are you doing that?
What's
What's the objective? Why would you open it up for everybody and have non-achievers be a part of it?
And non-achievers, one, it's like an introduction for them to JA, so that they definitely get to see what the program is all about, how beneficial it is as well, for them to go back home and share with their parents just how much of an impact this would have had on them, and hopefully, turn around next year, join the program, right? Yeah.
All right.
So
we can get details about the conference in just a bit. I just want to find out from our achievers here about why did you get into JA and how did it benefit you? How did you start? Tell us all about it. Vaughn, you want to start? Kick us off.
Yeah, I'll kick it off. So basically, I joined Junior Achievement when I was in grade 10. So I heard about Junior Achievement for about a few years, I would say. From being a part of JA Juniors in primary school, you get a little taste of what Junior Achievement actually is. So my sister Carlisa, she was like, "Hey Vaughn, you're start doing Junior Achievement," and she was in grade 12. So she's like, "Hey, let's join JA." So I was like, "Okay." And from doing that, I joined. First, I started with Arawak Homes, but then eventually I went to Bahamas First, which is I have I met a lot of mentors at Bahamas First.
Wonderful.
A lot of great advisors there. So I spent 3 years at Bahamas First, and I was the president of Bahamas First United, which is it was our company last year. And my experience in Junior Achievement has truly been outstanding. It might not look like it now, but I started off Junior Achievement as a shy and timid individual.
No, you can't believe it.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's how it happens.
Wow.
Yeah, so, coming off the pandemic, you kind of lose some social skills from being out for a little too long, right? Yeah, so coming from that to going to Junior Achievement, meeting different people, networking, meeting your advisors, and meeting different people from different places, you actually get to expand your taste into what you want to know in life.
Right.
And it will make you have an interest in business. And I would definitely say Junior Achievement has made me want to become an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Sir.
Okay. All right. So we're going to expect a great business from you very soon.
Sir.
Wonderful. Okay. Tasia, what about you?
Okay. So I would have started Junior Achievement with J for Juniors as well. I was very much so plenty years ago.
Why is she acting like she's old? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Okay, I started the company program with the company program. I started that in 2015.
It was just yesterday.
It seems a bit long.
You don't want Tammy and me to tell you what year we were at school.
But I would have started. I would have started in 2015 for the company program, and I started with NIB, and then I would have went to Deloitte, and I would have graduated. And let's say when I graduated, Junior Achievement didn't stop there for me.
Mm-hmm.
Not only because I was a MDA nominee as well, but because Junior Achievement have such a huge impact on everyone, honestly. Everyone, I believe, everyone that is a part of Junior Achievement feels it.
Yeah.
Because for me, I had to come back. Like, I had to give back.
Yeah.
The same way that my mentors would have poured into me. I still have my mentors up to this day, even advisors from I was in Junior Achievement. They're still advisors up to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And for the fact that they are still there and they are still pouring into young individuals the way that they poured into me, that speaks volumes.
Yeah,
so
wonderful.
because they poured all that into me, I had to pour it right back into the community the same way they did it for me.
So how does it feel to be on the other side now as an advisor?
Man, it feels good. It feels good to be able to do the same, honestly.
That's beautiful. Tammy, I know this makes you feel really good to hear these stories.
It does because, she's talking about 2015 and, I think I was your program coordinator. Yeah, at that time,
I used to live in Miss Lackey office.
That's what I'm saying, so to see them now and to see some of them, their parents, she's a new parent as well. So
Congrats.
it's just the evolution, you know what I mean? And just to see them just living and just coming back. It's Arawak Homes, if I'm not mistaken, has the most alumni in this program.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and if I was to count, I'm sure when I was there the other day, it was like 8 of them.
Oh, working there?
Yeah,
No.
that are, volunteers
Okay.
with the company program.
Nice.
So that was really, really nice to see. I almost had a moment where I was crying when I saw all of them. But it's good, and it really does have an impact. But I want to get back to
Yes.
the conference,
Any
right?
special theme this year?
Yes. So our theme this year, which, by the way, was a competition with our achievers who are in the program, was for them to come up with a theme and a logo for this year's conference, right? So we had applicants submitted their logo and theme, and the winning theme was Tech-Powered Minds, Business-Driven Futures.
Nice.
Of course, we know where their head is at from this, right? So we have and we have planned the conference right around that. Okay, so there's a lot of technology, AI as well that will be discussed. The future of business and entrepreneurship. With this new technology that is out. AI in the workplace. So it's going to be a lot of interesting sessions for them to be a part of.
Plenty of adults
over the
would
2 days.
would want to be at this conference
Yes.
as well.
And we're going to have, of course, a strong lineup of national leaders and industry professionals who include Sir Franklin Wilson, of course, who's the founding chairman of the Junior Achievement Bahamas. So it's going to be great to have him there. And his contribution, the Honorable Wayne is the Minister of National Security, but he's also Most Distinguished Achiever as well.
Really?
For JA, yes.
Okay.
We have Andre Ramming, Nakira Horton, who's the CEO and Executive Director of the Bahamas Financial Services Board, Lyndon Wallace, Coach Lyndon Wallace. He's also a JA alum. Bailey Miller, who's a young, dynamic voice right now in our community. Selvin Baston from NIB. He co-wrote the JA Pledge, so he's an alum as well.
Okay.
LaShanta Smith, HR. I know I'm going to get in trouble, but she is the president of the HR association here locally.
Yes.
Right? She's also an alum. She used to work with JA as well. And we also have Lincoln Deal, also a JA alum and a MDA as well. So that's just the first slate of speakers that we have set up to pour into our student achievers over the 2 days.
All right. So how do you be a part of this? What's registration like? How does that work?
I'm going to ask, Vaughn, you want to do registration? Okay.
All right. So
Yeah.
for registration for Bahama Job 2026.
Talk right into that mic there, Vaughn.
Yeah.
All right. So for those who didn't hear me, for registration for Bahama Job for 2026, student registration is now open. Early bird pricing is available until February 6, 2026. $50 for junior achievement achievers and $60 for non-J achievers. After February 6th, the prices will be $60 for achievers and
And this is for the 3 days.
This is
right?
for the 3 days.
The whole
Yes,
conference,
yes,
right? Okay,
yes.
that's a good deal.
And students can register and pay online at jabahamas.org/BahamaJack.
And I got to spell that Bahama Jack,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Just
spell
so
that
that they
Bahama
know.
Jack, yeah.
So it's jabahamas.org/BAHAMAJAC all together. Okay? Yeah.
All right.
And of course, we can't do something like this without sponsors, right? So definitely got to come in and shout out our sponsors. Before I do that, though, I definitely want to go ahead as well and just thank our sponsoring firms who support us through the JA Company program, not only here in New Providence, but in Grand Bahama and Eleuthera as well, Andros. But for this year's conference, we do have support from industries, from committed corporate sponsors, Royal Caribbean Group, the Nassau Cruise Port, the Bahamas Institute of Chartered Accountants, KPMG, PwC, Deloitte, the Movi Group, Mobile Assist, Hotel Consult Bahamas Limited, R Limited, JS Johnson, Leno, Loon Wrap, and the Nassau Airport Development Company. And what I wanted to say is I wanted to send a special thank you to the committee lead, Shaneska Kemp, and her team, and the JA team for really putting this conference together. So they're doing a remarkable, remarkable job. They're going to make it hard for me next year to top what they're doing this year. That's crazy.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So it's a 3-day event. Is it all day? I know you say most students will be on midterm. You're there. How long are you there for?
Well, here's how it's all planned out. We do expect our Family Island delegates to come in on Friday morning. So when they come in on Friday morning, then they go out on tours to the cruise port. They're going to be a tour at the airport, as well as a Bahama resort is going to take them in, back office so that they can see how the actual resort runs. So they'll have those tours. And then at 6 p.m. in the evening, there is the welcome reception hosted by the Bahamas Institute of Chartered Accountants, or BICA, right? So that's until 6 from 9. So that's the first day, right? Arrivals, registration, welcome reception.
Right.
Then on Saturday, we start at 9 a.m. with our opening ceremonies. After that, we go through to our sessions and panel discussions, fireside chats, and that's going to go through until 5. And then we start the evening again. This is more networking with the kids, more fun activities, but definitely through learning, hands-on activities. That starts at 7 p.m. and should end at about 9:30 p.m.
Wow. Okay,
So we
very
take full
full
advantage, right? And then Sunday morning, we have our delegates returning as well as our church service, and then that would be the end of our conference for 2026.
So again, with registration, you get what, lunch and all these
With
things?
registration, of course, you get lunch. Throughout the day, you get little snacks, lunch, right? Even in the evening, we provide snacks for you. Of course, full access to the conference. You get a T-shirt, you get a gift bag, goodie bag, right?
man.
So all that comes with your registration.
And again, that theme, everybody is concerned about all this stuff, right?
Tech-powered minds, business-driven futures.
Great stuff. One more time, let people know.
So you can register Bahama Jack at jabahamas.org/BAHA8JAC.
Okay. Great stuff. Thank you all for being here. It sounds like it's going to be a great event. But keep up the great work that you're doing, all of you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
It was a
Tammy
pleasure.
Leckie, Vaughn Johnson Jr., and Tasia Delaveau. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
It's a
too.
pleasure. It's a pleasure.
All right.
All right, Laverne, we're going to break for news and then be back with business. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Sunshine sparkling in the sea. A country blessed through all its history. We pause to celebrate our golden jubilee. A nation built on hospitality, culture, our people, one legacy. Bahamas, oh Bahamas, Bahamas, oh my Bahamas, Bahamas.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
Get ready for the biggest football game of the year, Super Bowl 60. We have the best seat. Join Star 106.5 All-Star Team live at Anthony's on Paradise Island on Super Bowl Sunday, February 8th from 2 to 6 p.m. Enjoy giant screens, delicious fun food, ice-cold Collick Beer specials, prizes and surprises non-stop. It's the place to be for Super Bowl Sunday. Anthony's on Paradise Island. Watch the Patriots take on the Seahawks.
Touchdown! Seahawks!
The Star 106.5 All-Star Team will be there to cheer you on from 2 to 6 p.m. It's the biggest Sunday of the year for the biggest game of the year, Super Bowl 60, live at Anthony's on Paradise Island. Don't miss it.
Marco's Pizza has the perfect everyday deal. Pick up a large one-topping pizza for only $10 every single day. This has to be the best pizza deal in town. No gimmicks, just great pizza at a great price every day. Fresh, fast, and full of flavor. That's the magic of Marco's. Only at Marco's participating location.
Looking for insurance that fits your lifestyle and your budget? At Star General Insurance, we've got you covered. Whether it's motor insurance with flexible options for third-party liability and or commercial insurance products that protect your business, we have choices you can afford. Own a home or renting? Our home insurance products have just what you need. And for the adventurers out there, we offer marine insurance too. Visit our website or social media pages for contact information and quotes. Star General, insurance made simple.
City of Miami Gardens presents JITG Music Fest. Janae Aiko, Ludacris, Ashanti, Nelly, Glorilla, LMA, Maya, Joe, D-Nice and Friends, featuring SWV, Donnell Jones, Case, Sunshine Anderson and Kenny Burns, Isley Brothers, El DeBarge, Stephanie Mills, and so many more. March 7th and 8th, Hard Rock Stadium. Tickets and info at jazzinthegardens.com. Jazzinthegardens.com.
Put market with the Fidelity Debt Consolidation Loan. Why pay more when you can pay less? Reduce your monthly debt payments down to one low, easy payment. Apply for a Fidelity Debt Consolidation Loan today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Thursday, February 5th, 2026. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. In this hour, Laverne, we're going to talk about a number of things. We're going to read the final bit of our messages from early in the show about the healthcare system and the new hospital and people's concerns about it. I'm not going to read the ones we've been getting a whole lot of over and over again, but we'll read the final ones. There's some interesting ones that came in as well. But there are a couple other stories we want to get to. The headline, the energy plan that the government tabled yesterday, and what we're hearing about LNG and the policies and how this is going to work. And also SpaceX filing applications for a February, which is this month, rocket booster landing. Here we go again, right? We're going to get into that too. But there is a headline in the Tribune that I wanted to talk about, and about rideshare, and which is currently illegal in the country. But a lot of people talking about it because there have been many companies that have been proposing rideshare services, Uber-like services for the country, and and there have been a few that have been operating again illegally.
It's happening.
It's happening. It's definitely happening, but it's not quite legal. And this is a story in the
What does
paper.
that mean? It's not quite legal?
Well, illegal.
Is it legal?
Unlawful.
Isn't it?
It's not authorized. We're not set up for it as yet. But we're going to get into that and why that probably needs to change as soon as possible. So a lot to talk about in this hour. But let's get through the last of these messages about the healthcare system. This person says here, all of this is just a small sector of our society. Oh, well, I don't know. When we grow up and become more positive, we will see and say and do more positive things. Well, I don't know. Generally, it seems when people get older, they get grumpier and crotchetier, right? No, it's very few. A few people change your outlook on life. I mean, those people were really, really dark, and then they start changing. But most people just seem to get, the old man, old woman, just complain about everything. You can't stop. And I see myself becoming that every day. Oh, God. It's getting worse. Help me, please. This person says the amount of money we're spending renovating PMH could build us 2 hospitals. Well, okay, I don't know about that. I applaud this government for taking the chance in building a new hospital. Don't care what people call it, as long as it will benefit some of these complainers. And it probably would. It probably will. This person says here, we need to know the truth about running behind this idea of a specialty hospital. They're saying that we're borrowing funds and ducking the real issues at PMH and the clinics. Another texter says here, Dr. Darville's tone deaf because he wants the hospital to be his legacy. He has not accomplished anything in Graham with the last administration. The what? What's happened? Where do things stand with what's been promised for Grand Bahama Laverne? Do you all have something? A new hospital?
No.
Oh, okay. So what?
No, we don't.
What did Anyway, do you think?
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, nothing is yet. We don't have a specialty hospital yet either.
Yeah.
Right. You don't have a new airport for Grand Bahama yet.
No.
No, you don't know.
We were supposed to, but now.
Of course.
We do.
No.
But these things take time.
Yes, it's complicated. It's very complex procedures.
And
lots of moving parts.
Yes,
got to be patient, right?
Yes.
It may not be in your lifetime.
The study of the study.
Always got to study.
Stuff was going to be finalized,
and you got to meet with people.
Absolutely.
And so it takes time. Do you think a national lottery could have helped to build the hospital with our own cash?
Read that again?
Do you think with a national lottery we could have built this hospital with our own cash? I mean, whose own cash? You could do a lot of things with the national lottery. Absolutely. I don't know if I'd put that towards a hospital, but you could. Yeah. Okay. So I think those are the ones there. Again, a lot of people questioning Bahamians and children. No. There was a good one. Where did it go? There was one about how we need to really clarify that. And the people were saying you need to clarify it. It may be, I've got to find it. Here we go. People need to distinguish which segment of the Bahamian public, Bahamian women, are not having kids. Professional women are choosing to delay having kids for entirely different reasons. We can't ignore reality of infertility issues, which also appear to be on the rise. If you ask me, looking around, my very young Bahamian no problems making babies. And this is what I'm saying. I don't know why people are saying these things. They're not having 9 children anymore, like how people's grandparents did. They're not having 15, right? You can't afford to have 2. But to say Bahamians aren't having children, yes, take in the context in which NIB made those statements and others, right? To support where we are as a people today, we cannot sustain NIB for what we need in the future because the population is small. Not saying that Bahamians aren't having children. Just with all the illnesses in the country and all the benefits that they provide, the population is not sufficient to sustain it. I don't know how you could get to the place where Bahamians don't have children anymore. That's crazy. Bahamians are. You know it. All of you saying it have children. You have. Stop. But when it's convenient, you can turn things around. But yeah, they're saying the Haitians are coming here and having 25 children. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, Laverne, I think we should move on.
I think so.
Yes. All right. So the big headline in the Tribune today, which is very odd, very strange for this to be their top story today, but broken neck suffered in illegal Uber ride. Uber's in quotation marks because we don't have Uber here, and that wasn't Uber. And that's very... Anyway, teacher injured in crash in Grand Bahama, highlighting dangerous regulatory vacuum surrounding ride shares. Well, again, it's illegal. A crash that left a Grand Bahama preschool teacher with a broken neck and torn eyelids, wow, has thrown fresh light on what officials have described as a dangerous regulatory vacuum around ride-sharing services operating in the Bahamas. Some falsely claiming to be Uber drivers. Wow. That's crazy. Anishka Pratt-Williams had relied on a driver illegally offering Uber services since September last year to travel home from work. Uber does not have a license to operate in the Bahamas, and offering such services using private vehicles is illegal. On January 26th, her regular driver stopped at an establishment along the coast to complete the trip to Deadman's Reef. What? Have you heard about this story, Laverne, in Grand Bahama? No. Okay. No. Heavy rain began to fall as they drove. Minutes later, the vehicle spun out of control and crashed into a tree. Wow. So Pratt-Williams says, I ended up behind the driver's seat with my legs stuck between the console of the car. I felt my head was bleeding. My eyes were bleeding. I didn't realize that my neck was jammed or that it was broken yet. Police and passers-by with medical training stopped to assist before she was taken to the Rand Memorial Hospital with 2 broken bones in her neck and torn eyelids that required 30 stitches. I don't even know what torn eyelids means. What does that mean?
Right.
Good Lord. The driver, whom family members alleged had been speeding, was not seriously hurt. Pratt-Williams said he apologized repeatedly after the crash. Doctors warned her family that the slightest movement could leave her paralyzed or dead. Was she wearing a seatbelt? I'm just asking.
I don't know.
Plans to airlift her to New Providence stalled because no bed was available at Princess Margaret Hospital. Here we go again. Oh, boy. Wow. Her husband, Samuel Williams, returned from a construction job on another island and was told a specialized neck brace could stabilize her enough to travel by commercial flight. Commercial flight. He bought the brace from New Providence for about $2,300. What? using personal funds and donations. Good Lord. Yeah, full body now. Oh, yes. See the picture there.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's intense. After wearing it for several days, doctors noted improvement in her x-rays and discharged her on Wednesday. Wow. So questions about accountability quickly followed. Mr. Williams said that the vehicle involved was a rental. Oh, boy. And claimed that the second driver was not listed on the insurance coverage. Well, of course not. He said the operator initially promised financial help, but later failed to follow through. He provided the Tribune with the flyers advertising the ride-sharing services, offering Uber service, Uber Eats, and Uber Errands. Boy, Uber not. No. Wow. When the Tribune asked the alleged business owner for proof of required licensing to operate, the man declined to provide documentation.
Can't provide what you don't have.
Right. Mr. Williams, Ubers is just a pretty word for hacking, and said allowing another person to take over the vehicle was the height of negligence. And in a rental.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Rent the car.
And drive it all over the place, picking up people.
Yep.
Pratt Williams said survival had strengthened her faith, but also a resolve for accountability. She said, quote, "I don't want you to just think you can hurt me and just walk on and live life with no consequences." What? You don't say sorry. You don't say anything. You need to be held accountable some way, somehow. Well, in April 2025, the Ministry of Energy and Transport warned that the Road Traffic Department is the only legal agency authorized to issue grants for transportation for reward, saying that members of the public are advised that it is illegal to offer Uber or rideshare services to the public using private vehicles. Further, the department is strongly warning the public that this practice is unsafe and dangerous. Well, despite that warning, a number of small businesses purporting to offer rideshare services have been appearing, some openly advertising online and distributing flyers that claim to offer Uber services. Under Bahamian law, a driver transporting service driver's license issued by the Road Traffic Department, the vehicle itself must be granted a public service franchise, such as a taxi, livery, tour car, or omnibus franchise, authorizing it to carry fare-paying passengers. Operators must hold a valid business license from the Department of Inland Revenue, carry commercial passenger insurance rather than private insurance, and ensure the vehicle passes public service inspections and displays the correct franchise plates and license disc. Without those approvals for both driver and vehicle, transporting passengers for payment in a private car is unlawful. While the department has repeatedly warned about the dangers of illegal ride sharing, it has never publicly released data showing how many complaints it has received, how many prosecutions have been brought, or how many vehicles have been seized in connection with the practice. The incident has renewed warnings from the Bahamas Taxi Cab Union. Well, we don't, they need to stay out of this. But anyway.
Okay, so,
yeah.
But all of that, right? How quickly can we, or what does it need to take to make this an option so that people aren't doing this illegally?
Right. And it does seem that the public wants it.
The public wants it. There's a market for it, right?
Definitely, yeah.
And I almost feel as if, like the, transportation, they're saying all of this thing to say, hey, we're letting you know, but are they really policing it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, is this really being policed? Or this is kind of, we're putting out here that this is not legal, we did not authorize this, you're doing this at your own risk, their risk, whatever. But is it really being policed? Yeah. I don't know how much it's being policed, but I can tell you that there is a market for it. People are using it. And so we need to, rather than using this incident as a moment of, you see, we told you not to do it. Why don't we say, you know what, let us put the parameters in place so that these people can become regularized. Yeah. And once we've done that, those who still refuse to become regularized, then they are going to face the harshest penalty that the law provides.
Absolutely. Totally agree with you. The time has come. It's been time. This needs to happen. We know the taxi drivers don't want it. We know why they don't want it. But this is bigger than them. They are not the majority of the people. The people want this. And not everybody can afford a car. Not everyone should have a car. Not everyone should be seen.
Less cars.
As we've seen, people are going to be riding around in uninsured vehicles without licenses because they just need to do it, because they need to get around. And hopefully this could cut down on that happening and lots of other people getting hurt by unlicensed and crazy
it's an
drivers.
opportunity. And it's an opportunity also for people to make a living, to provide for their families, to provide for themselves.
Yeah. Well,
it's
it's debatable how much they actually make from it, but that's on them. That's on them.
Right. That's up to them.
Mm-hmm.
But we just have to put the framework in place so that it can be done legally.
So let's hear from you folks. What's your reaction to this? Again, the taxi union has had a lot to say about it, but as people know, they don't, most of them don't jack fries anyway. If you're not a tourist or look like a tourist, you're not on their radar.
Dwight, can I tell you something? Even like growing up, I remember you would see taxis, right? Other than if I go to the airport or the harbor, I'm not saying that they don't exist. I don't even.
Oh, wow. Well, Nassau's different. Airport, but yeah, all the hotels, there's tons of taxis parked up there, a few downtown, and they're speeding around the island, chasing you off the road.
But like,
so we see taxis, but they don't pick you up.
Like you would see them, it says taxi on it. And like, because when I first got out of high school and I was working, I called a taxi company. That's why I'm saying I don't even know if that number still exists. And there was a gentleman, I used to have to go to work, and we had an arrangement, but he was, a taxi driver.
Mm-hmm.
That's back in the day when taxi had meters and all, right? So you didn't guess. You didn't have to guess you knew what your cost was going to be. And you would call, the taxi would come, and they were earmarked. They were yellow. I think they were yellow. Anyway, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't even know what happens now.
Well, taxis still have meters in other parts of the world, but here we have a different system now. And the meter company, they went out of business, and no one has come in to fill that gap, unfortunately. But yeah, it's really amazing. Callers, we'll get to you in a second. It's really amazing. You could be walking down the street with like 5 bags, struggling. No one's going to stop for you.
Get a taxi?
No, 10 taxis will pass you by. But if you look like a tourist and you're holding a camera or phone or something, but they're stopping. They're slamming brakes to ask you. You could be staring at a tree. But if you look like a tourist, slamming the brakes in front of the people behind them to ask you if you need a taxi. But that poor old lady over there with the 5 bags, no one's asking her if she needs a taxi. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
What is this place? What is this place? Caller, what say you? Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Doing well.
I want to point out something in the healthcare system, and I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to listen afterwards to hear the response. Do you know that when it's time for a patient to go from Princess Margaret Hospital to Doctor's Hospital, they call the ambulance to pick them up? When a patient needs to go from Princess Margaret Hospital to Sunderland, they call the ambulance to pick them up. We have about 4, if that much, public ambulance right now available in this country. But yet, when it's time to transport patients back and forth to the different facilities, they call the ambulance for assistance. Now, bear in mind, these are the same ambulance that have to go to calls to every school, every home, every business where someone drowned, and the comments them on Facebook were the ambulance didn't reach in time. It took them half an hour to reach there. We have 4 ambulances on this island. And you want to build a next hospital. How are the patients getting to this next hospital? And how are they getting back and forth from the specialty hospital to the regular hospital when we have 4 ambulances that deals with traffic and other incidents every single day? See, the problem is they want to start talking about, okay, we want to build a hospital, but you need to get to the root of the problem first, because when you go and build that hospital and then you're building a clinic right there on Blue Hill Road, And then the ambulance drivers then now have to be back and forth dealing with all of these facilities, and yet you have 4 ambulances. How you expect them to be back and forth to doing all this? Because they're not superheroes. So we need to get the root of the problem first and fix that structure first and the foundation first before we can talk about putting on a roof and putting up and calling the pig.
Okay, very interesting point. Thank you very much for calling about that. Yeah, we got a lot of work to do. A whole lot to do. Hopefully they've thought about that as well. Hopefully they have. I don't know. We're not hearing that, but hopefully somebody has a plan. Wow. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Dwight, good morning again. How are you?
Hi, good morning.
And Lauren, I didn't say good morning to you earlier when I spoke, but good morning.
Good morning.
This is definitely this issue, subject that is of significant importance to me. I'd like to amend the record though that not all cab drivers are opposed to a properly regulated and organized system whereby the access to ride is available by an app or any other technology. So I've noticed that society, because of the perspective of the position of the union, has sort of resolved to a position that they say emphatically the cab drivers are opposed to it. And that's not a fair representation of the complex interests and perspectives that sits among the transportation community with respect to this product. I'd like to go on record again to say that I'm one of those Bahamians who fully support a ride-sharing concept. As a cab driver, a ride-sharing concept that makes rides available to Bahamians, affordable rides, safe rides, by way of technology, but not just Bahamians, Dwight. And one of the areas that I've been a strong proponent for is that the transportation community, whichever direction it goes in, but in specific ride sharing, must bend its knees to the needs of the disabled community. And so when we have this discussion, I want us to not have it in a vacuum. That being said, my sympathy and my sincere, regrets to the woman who experienced the conditions as explained in an article from the Tribune. But again, the onus is on the Ministry of Transport to take proactive steps and lead. They're not leading on this issue. And this is one of the biggest disappointment I have with the Honorable Jobette Colby. Because there is no shortage of opportunity for her to step out and lead on this matter. It is a market, like your co-host has pointed out. There is a market. The Bahamian people, the inner city, is starved of appropriate door-to-door services. And it's time for the minister to lead. And I stand firm on the position that this issue for the last 5 years, as it has spread out and fragmented into the chaos that we are seeing, it falls at her doorstep. It's at the football. She needs to lead on this. And I close by saying this, that what needs to happen with this particular issue is a group of Bahamian business people need to take the Ministry of Transport and the government of the Bahamas to court with respect to them not granting appropriate licenses and services for this particular area. That's the next step, because if you wait for them to just take the necessary steps as it relates to regulating and licensing the appropriate business persons to provide this product, it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
And I think that the next step should be legal action against the government of the Bahamas for depriving business people of an opportunity to do business and depriving the Bahamian people of an opportunity to take part in a product that they are solely entitled to participate in. Thank you.
Wow. Okay. Strong language there. Hey, I'm all for suing the government, but I think more people need to be vocal before we get there. More people need to be vocal about how much they want this, and people are not being vocal. They're just doing it. Right? They're just saying, "I'm called this guy's offering the rideshare." They're not like talking to anybody or call. It's time. I don't want to have to drive. I only want to drive on weekends or whatever. There's no parking, and I can't take it. These people drive like lunatics, and I'd rather not drive. We need to hear more people saying that. I think they don't think that we really want it. Do you know who makes a lot of noise? Taxi drivers. Taxi drivers have a lot to say. And so that's who the minister probably hears from all the time.
Dwight, I'm going to disagree with that. I don't think it's that they don't think we don't want it. I think they don't want to have to delve into, I want to say, for lack of a better term, the messiness that may come from having now to address it and whatever that backlash may be from taxi drivers who've been very vocal about not wanting that to happen. So I don't.
So they're scared. That's what you're saying. They're scared. Yeah. They're scared. Okay. And also, again, there are other industries that would not from people not driving their own cars, and I'm sure that's a powerful lobbying group too. But they got to look out for the majority of the people. The people want it. The people want it.
There are people who probably would love to have a car, but they cannot afford it, right? And in the meantime, they're going to use rideshare.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take another call and then we'll get to these messages. Plenty messages coming in. Good morning, call.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Laverne, Seattle, and Johnson. Good morning, Dwight of Bahamas.
Hi, good morning.
You got part of the you got part of the pit. You got a 50%. Would that make you a D or C? You're correct in that, but the problem is that it's a little bit deeper. They are anchored, cemented in the past, and deniers of the future.
Who are?
Leadership in the Bahamas.
Oh, my.
Okay? So, there's a concept, and right, this ties into your medical and everything else, right? Proper prior preparation prevents piss poor performances. And so, if you look at, first let's deal with the ride share, right? The reason why you won't have ride share in the Bahamas is the same thing. Mindset, cemented in the past, and denies of the future. Because the ride share would first have to address not just one problem. I said we always like to look at things one at a time. You have to address transportation across the country. Now, here's the problem. If you fix the bus system, this probably won't be a need for ride share on a 5x27 island. And there won't be a need for taxis. Now, there might be a need for light livery or whatever they call it because people would want a particular upgrade for particular services. Now, the problem now is that now that you fixed you need to have an economic strategy for growing the economy to make up for the tens or hundreds of millions of dollars you now lose from the carbon tax system. The gasoline, the tires, and the import for parts, and all of those different things. See, so it isn't one thing you fix. Because it's almost like, how you say, Laverne, you could use the expression, you go to the bathtub, you scoop water from one end and pour it at the other end, saying you're emptying it, but you haven't pulled the plug. That's the problem you would have. So it's an economic problem that we have in the country. And yes, we talk about 3% growth or whatever it is, but we haven't diversified in such a way, and fixing the transportation also requires a balance of an economic picture. We talk about the National Development Plan. Go and read it and see if it actually is not a book of, you'll see more of a book of ideas. I'm hoping something different comes, as opposed to how all of these are interconnected. Let me end in this, right? Do you know, for the clinics, do you know that the Bahamas exceed 99% skilled bird attendance?
What's the word that you're saying? Skilled
bird attendance. The level, what happens is, we have access, right, for this hospital. It's not needed. We have access. The level we're trying to address is quality. If you look at the Bahamas rates to the world, we beat them from going back to 1990s and now. The global average is 28.4. We had 11.4. Right? Every 10 years. 1990, we had 20%. The world was at 65%. 2000, we had 14%. The world was at 53%. 2010, we was at 13%, the world was at 37%. 2020, we was at 11%, the world was at 30%. 2021, we had 11%, the world is at 30%.
We get it.
Now, I'm saying, Dwight, to come to the region, so this thing about this argument about this hospital that's needed, the problem is we are with this leaking roof rather than fixing the roof. And so this is why you do not see an actual statistics of the strategy of what you call the needs analysis of the healthcare system that examine all the needs and then a short, medium, and long-term strategy, as we talk about national development, to solve the health crisis in the country. What you hear is the distraction is we can build a clinic, we can pay a clinic, we can buy a machine, we can build a hospital, we're going to buy 2 ambulances that don't work, we're going to do all these things, we're going to get 5 surgeries. We just keep hearing these things. And no one stops to say, where is a plan? Not ideas and even potential strategies. Where is the national plan for healthcare? Or anything we try, but the education or national, anything.
Yeah.
We don't have any, and we live on policies that are spoken. You can't find a written policy. You can't find a strategy for energy. You can't find anything. What you have is utterances come from 5-year celebrities, and then we have another set of 5-year celebrities. Yeah. And we have not technically, because we as a nation have not demanded anything.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Alan. That's an interesting point. It would be, and Dr. Darville needs to do it. He has to come out and say, this is what we're going to do. We know that after 3 years, we would have achieved this, and this would have alleviated this burden on PMH, and you would see this. Not really hearing that. I agree with him there. But I don't agree with him on the fact that public transportation would mean you wouldn't need an Uber-type system. There are plenty of people who won't want to do public transportation. There's certain times when you're not going to be able to feel comfortable, and public transportation might not even be running. So there's, as we see all over the world, there's space for all of them.
Yes.
Public transportation in terms of buses and trains and taxis and Ubers and everything. There are people, there are benefits, and there are uses for all. And I think we can do it here.
Right here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely do that.
Yeah. And there are people using all of them in the same day or week.
And here's the thing. And the reason why we know it can be done is because it's happening.
Yeah.
It may not be legal, but it's happening.
Oh, well, that part too, sure. But I mean, but legally in other parts of the world, like, it'd be easier to go to this event on the train, but then take an Uber back home, or at night you do this with that, and let's do a taxi because then I could do this and that, and then we'll catch an Uber later and then get on the train or whatever. That's how it works.
When I travel, Dwight, and I have access to vehicle, depending on where I'm going, because I don't want to be bothered with parking.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Or you don't want to be bothered with all the other hooligans on the bus or the train. Sure, right. There's a time for all of it. And so, but we do need
you don't want to be worried about traffic. You don't want, not traffic. You don't want to be worried about parking where maybe when you're going to an event. This is easy for you.
Yeah. And
call an Uber when I'm ready to leave.
And as John was saying earlier, the Ministry of Transport just cannot kick this can down the road any longer or bury its head in the sand. It has to wake up and address this once and for all. Let's read these messages before we run out of time. This person says here, this is another reason why this matter won't be addressed, Laverne, is because some of the politicians have taxi and livery plates and companies. Oh, my God. What?
Well.
What the? Can't be. No way. Anyway, this person says here, so you're saying ride sharing is illegal, just like how the numbers houses were illegal?
Okay.
Well, and dinosaurs used to roam the earth. Dinosaurs used to roam the earth. Lots of things change.
And that's what we're saying. So, and this can be one of those things.
This person says that we've had Uber-like service operating. Taxi drivers need to move to the 21st century. And while we're at it, the public transportation system needs a complete overhaul. I don't think we have one. Buses stop running at sunset and don't run in the rain, and many other things they don't do. Their routes are very limited. Please don't bring Dr. Darville on. Okay, wow. Bring nurses on and some more doctors and some Bahamians practicing overseas who left us. Okay. Wow. Was it a hacking shared ride like illegals do? What? Well, okay, I don't know what that means. The driver more than likely had on a seatbelt. This is the accident in Grand Bahama. Passenger definitely did not have on hers. Always buckle up, folks. Yeah, even if you're in the back. I think a lot of people don't see the need. But if Princess Diana's death taught us everything, the only person who survived that crash had on a seatbelt. Everybody else didn't. Good Lord. Anyway, please regulate our public buses and collectively the problems will be solved. Okay, sure. Dwight, your communist ideology is once again giving the government opportunity to start taxing and implementing fees on a business such as Uber or ride sharing. What are you talking about? Oh my God. Okay, that is not a business that your government friends should be taxing. I'm just paying to drop me from point A to point B. Okay, when your eyelids are torn off, what you going to do? What are you going to do? Anyway, and they go on to say other people are doing the same thing as well as just paying somebody some gas money to pick them up and drop them somewhere. How's this a communist thing? You're very silly. Do you know what these... Anyway, okay. That's... Oh my God. That's the complete opposite of communism. What are you talking about? Wow. Okay. We need...
I'm sorry.
What? This is complete capitalism. You want to make people pay for this stuff. What are you talking about? Anyway, okay. Yeah. My government friends. We need economy of scale, and that is more than just population. It is financed. Why? What you say does not make sense. A proper bus system is designed for us by us not copying someplace else. Why we can't have 24-hour service for public transportation? I'm saying that we need to have it. What did you hear? What did you hear? I'm saying you need it. I'm saying
we can still have ride share. I'm saying we can have public transportation 24 hours and you can still have it.
That's how it works. I'm saying the system we have is ridiculous right now, right? It is not a proper system at all. And I think we need to look beyond buses, right? Because it is the 21st century. So, yeah, I'm saying it should be. We don't have it. And in the meantime, because they'll never fix that, you need to open up for the rideshare services or fix the taxi system. Get back to the meter cabs or both. It can still work. There's a time for a taxi. There's a time for a rideshare. It definitely is. The guys who are in the upper class are always trying to take away from the small man. It'll be sad if the government allows the Uber. It will cause a riot in this country, I believe. How? As Laverne says, this will provide opportunities for more people to find work, to be. Come on, what are you talking about? You just love illegal operations. That's what you're saying? You just love everything to be underground and underhanded and under the table. You just love under. Okay. Just admit it. Just admit it. You love it when things are not above board. We'll get a lot further along when everyone admits that they love illegal stuff.
Okay, that's a bit extreme.
That's what it seems to be. You're mad because we are saying we want this to be legal and to fix it, and that people should be able to provide the service. You're mad because then you won't be able to do it on the side. This doesn't make sense. And broken neck suffered in illegal Uber ride. Her eyelids were torn off. What does that mean? How? Pick up today's NASA Guardian for the Guardian business section. Again, more on the national energy policy and the document that's going to be implemented in 6 months, and the LNG situation in the country by the end of the year. That's great stories there. And SpaceX filing an application for a February rocket booster landing. We'll probably talk more about that tomorrow. Laverne Garden has been quite an interesting show. Thank you for being here this morning. Mm-hmm. Oh, boy. We'll talk next week. I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Everybody have a great day. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind. Upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Strike your financial rhythm? Make that move to Fidelity and let us help you orchestrate your financial goals into perfect harmony with free financial coaching sessions. Make that move today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
You try to rest, roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big, and there's name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent